The bicycles, please keep going up the street. Go up in the street. Motorbikes and bicycles go up into the garden, please. Keep on you. Go up people get in the road. All the nationals who want to be on the right side of the road and just keep, you cannot be here when the crowd is on, marshals. You cannot be standing around the square and the people are moving up. We want the marshals to be on the right side of the protest. Everybody is black to drop the marshal. A marshal is somebody that's cold. Okay, let us go for that. Let us go on. Remember, it's a certain class. Let your fellow speak. I flew. Tell them I'm moving this stuff. Don't catch this on them. Okay, come on, let's go. Let us move on. Please. Keep your condition all the time. Marshals stay to the right side of the crowd. Do not allow no one to okay, let's go. Marshals are still moving around and people are moving on. One quicker be on the right side of the crowd.
I say just go right, tell them don't stop at all. Keep moving. What's up? We are going to move. Hey. Oi, nada. Oi, what are you doing? This is pretty nice video. I'm not that's why the pushing the circle. You get somebody there for the come back and do
And then, well, if you see another person, send a message up for them. Hello.
Sorry, my audio. Good evening to you and welcome to Politics 101 on a Monday evening, taking you back in time, 1998, in the wake of the 1997 election, the big marches led by Desmond Hoyt, Aubrey Norton, and some of the young Turks 10,000 people on the streets of Georgetown, 15,000 people, 20,000 people on the streets of Georgetown. The PPP had to give up 2 years of their term because, of course, the 1997 election was marred by lots of irregularities. And the PNC leadership, led by their leader, Desmond Hoyt, took the people onto the streets. And I was showing you there's some clips of that. Somebody's asking where they can find that video. I don't know if the PNC has them in their archives. This is my own personal archives. I had a friend who used to tape the marches and send them to me, and I have them still in my archives. I will put up the video because I think I do have a copy of 1 or 2 of the marches on YouTube. I think so. I'll have to check. I'll have to check on one of my YouTube pages. But I dare say, we need some of those marches. We need to put thousands of people on the streets because it is clear that the PPP, in collusion with the leadership of GCOM, intend to go to an election that is going to be rigged before it starts. And the only way we're going to stop that is to put our people in the streets. You saw there with your own eyes, people not only marching, but children coming out of schools, nurses coming out of the hospital and waving the marchers on. Those were the days. And those days have to come back because that's the only medicine that the PPP understands when they see our people in the streets. Good evening and welcome to Politics 101. And it's Monday evening. And we are sounding the bell. It cannot be business as usual anymore. Our party, the Working People's Alliance, a small party, but we are making our voices heard and we are saying it cannot be business as usual. And we intend to meet with the leader of the opposition and to let him know what we think and how we think we have to move if GCOM continues to say no biometrics. It cannot be business as usual. I read a news story of an interview given by former Finance Minister Winston Jordan. I don't know which one of the programs he was on. Might have been Norman Brown's program. But he said the PPP gave them, meaning the coalition, the living hell when it came to sugar. And I know that because I was close enough to the government to know that from day one, the PPP gave them the living hell, right up to the point where they collude with external forces to overthrow the coalition. You, our supporters, you're correct in asking, why have we for 4 years not given the PPP the living hell? They have done 100 times worse than what the coalition did. And they gave the coalition the living hell. And you all are correct in asking, why have we not given this PPP government they live in hell. They've murdered our people. They've broken down our people's homes, taken away their lands. Look at what they're doing to the teachers. The teachers came out and struck last year for 72 days. 72 days they came out. 72 days they came out. And the court ruled after the PPP government moved to deduct the salaries of striking teachers. Stop collecting union dues. The court ruled that they were out of order. Out of order. The leadership of the teachers' union backpedaled, gave in to almost everything that the government wanted, accepted a 10% raise, 8%. And even after doing that, the government did not say, okay, so we have won. We have gotten the teachers to back down. We have gotten the leaders, not the teachers, the leaders, to back down. Even after that, they're still going to court to stop collecting union dues. To stop collecting union dues. They got the teachers' leadership to back down. They got the teachers' leadership to back down. I want to say it tonight, WPA condemns in the strongest terms the government's move to appeal the court's ruling. The appeal court upheld the previous decisions. In the first instance, the initial action by the government in refusing to deduct the dues, it was a violation of the spirit and the letter of industrial relations best practice. In Guyanese parlance, it was a case of blatant spite walk against the union by the government. Attorney General Nandlal, I heard him saying that why must the government collect dues to the union? The union must collect their own dues. It is not the government business to collect dues. That man sat there and said that. We are asking the following questions. What danger does the GTU pose in asking the government to deduct union dues from teacher salary? Is the GTU an alien entity? Are teachers not contributors to the national purse and as such are entitled to request government services? Thus collecting the union dues put undue burden on the government. As the government stopped deducting dues for Nasi, have they stopped collecting dues for Gawu? Is the government fighting the GTU for ethnic reasons? We are asking these questions. We can only conclude, the WPA can only conclude that the government's ultimate intention is to weaken the GTU. And it's seeking to get the court to help it to do that. We have seen this script before. We have seen this script before. After the 1999 PSU strike, where the PSU was able to get the government to go to arbitration by doing what the teachers did, calling their workers out on strike, staying on the road. And in the end, the government was forced to go to arbitration. It was an arbitration committee of 3 The government had one representative. They agreed on the chair. And Clive Thomas was representing, Dr. Clive Thomas of the WPA was representing the PSU. And that arbitration committee awarded the workers, the PSU workers, a tremendous raise. Some of it the government never paid. But they retaliated by stop collecting dues for the PSU. They've broken the PSU. Today the PSU is a shell of what it used to be. And that is what they're intended to do to the Guyana Teachers Union. They're going all the way to the CCJ because they say that our appeal court doesn't rule in their favor. Why the appeal court must rule in their favor? The appeal court must do what is right. So they're going to the CCJ. We in the WPA are saying we have to draw some lines in the sand. We have to draw some lines in the sand. We must not allow them to break the GTU as they've done the PSU. We have been quiet for too long. And there comes a time, Nelson Mandela says. Nelson Mandela, as he was going to prison, he said there comes a time in the life of any nation when you are left with but two choices: submit or demand. We have been submitting for too long. And they're going to break. Yes, it was the Armstrong agreement. Thank you, Marlene. Dr. Armstrong was the chair. And Clive Thomas was representing, and of course, the government had their representative. But Clive Thomas and Dr. Armstrong used their majority and awarded the public servants what they were asking for. And you have heard Dr. Henry Jeffrey says here that he used his authority as Minister of Education. And he appointed Father Malcolm Rodriguez, the late Father Malcolm Rodriguez, who was also associated with the WPA. And he appointed Dr. Rodriguez, associated with the WPA. Some of you all just wallow your all mouth and talk to what WPA bring to the table. It was WPA's Clive Thomas, along with Dr. Armstrong. You know, the PPP feel that because we and the PNC used to fight, you know, our people will do their bidding. No, Clive Thomas joined with Dr. Armstrong and they awarded the unions. They awarded the PSU. And it was no secret that back in the 70s and the 80s, in the era of religion, the church standing up for the poor, that there were some priests who stood with us in the WPA. Father Rodriguez was one of them. He would speak on our platforms. And he, when appointed by Henry Jeffrey, awarded the teachers a big raise. WPA. You see, this nonsense. Parties like the WPA and AFC and all the others, they're small parties electorally. They're small electoral parties. They're small electoral parties, meaning that they can't muster the thousands of votes like the PPP and the PNC. They're small electoral parties. but they are equal to all other parties when it comes to their service to their country, when it comes to their ideas, when they come to standing up for the poor. Jagdio and Irfan Ali, they're leading a big electoral party because Indians traditionally vote for them. They don't have to work for that support. It comes to them through ethnicity. They don't have to work for it. They don't have to go and convince anybody to vote for them. Indians vote for them out of ethnic loyalty. And that is what makes them big. They don't have to work for that support. So they are leaders of big parties. But when it comes to thinking, when it comes to ideas, when it comes to governing, Jagdio and Irfan Ali and big more than me. They come from a big party, I come from a small party, electorally. For me and the WPA to get 2 seats, 3 seats, we gotta go and work for it. They get it by default, and they sit up there and talk a lot of shit about big party and who's supporting it. Yes, they get electoral, so they don't work for it. So the big party electorally, they can beat me there. But when it comes to ideas, when it comes to courage, I will bust their ass. I am bigger than them. And you all Guyanese got to stop this nonsense of big and small party. The big parties don't have to work for votes. African people support the PNC. Indian people support the PPP. The PNC perhaps got to work more because black people can be a little bit contrary. Some of them, just, oh, what you do for me, and so on. So the PNC got to work for their own. PPP don't got to work for their own. Parties like the AFC and WPA got to work for their own. We got to go out and go down in the trenches. And I am saying, not like Jagdio and Irfan Ali can big more than me. I am big when it comes to ideas. I am big when it comes to courage. I have seen the walls of prison. And you all have to stop this nonsense. Our 1 seat or 2 seat can take us over the line. If we go up to 31, if we go up to 31, if we go up to 32, we still got to get 33. And my 1 seat or 2 seat can make the difference between a big minority and an absolute majority. We got to think. The PPP set up a lot of small parties at the last election. They set up them. The PPP give them money to set up those little parties. And some of you all go and vote for them. And they take you all vote and give it to the PPP. And the PPP pay them back. They give Nadir speaker, they give Schumann deputy speaker. And some black people went and voted for those small parties. The PPP will cost small parties, but it will set up its own small party because it knows that if it gets to 32, it needs one more to get to 33. But black people sometimes into nonsense, some PNC supporters. Don't think. If AFC bring 1 seat and WPA bring 1 seat, that's 2 seats. I don't know nobody else see, but I know that I ain't taking me 1 seat or 2 seats and give it to the PPP. I'm taking me 1 seat and 2 seats and join it with the PNC to get the PPP out of office. I'm clear about that. As I said last week, I fight Jagan Burnham when he was alive. I fight Burnham when other people were running for cover. Burnham is dead and gone. And I ain't fighting Burnham no more. I'm fighting those who are alive and beating up Guyanese people. You all gonna make up your own mind, black people. I'm talking to you all tonight. I'm talking to you all tonight. Because you all just do some stupidness and say some stupidness. I have no doubt that the PNC could win an election on its own. They are a big party. They can win an election. They have people who've been voting for the PNC from creation and will continue to vote for the PNC. But when you're in a battle, you don't want to barely win or barely lose. You want to guarantee you win. And in that case, Aubrey Norton get more sense than Granger and them who treat the WPA bad during the coalition. At least Aubrey Norton recognized that it is better to go into an election dead sure than to go into an election maybe. So this nonsense about what you bring, I was making the point, is Father Malcolm Rodriguez, who the PPP appointed, and he gave the teachers a raise, a big raise. It was Clive Thomas and Dr. Armstrong, WPA Clive Thomas, who gave the public service workers. You ask what we bring to the table? You all got put your own mouth right and put your own mind right. We need every damn vote. And I make it very clear. If I had access, if the WPA had access to 50,000 voters or 20,000 voters, I bet you bottom dollar, all of them would have been on the road now. All of them would have been on the road. If we had access to 50,000 voters, if we had access to the resources that the big parties had, not like G-Com and Claudette Singh could have been pulling the shit that they're pulling. That is what we bring. Fearlessness. I want to make it very clear. I'm not criticizing my brother, Aubrey Norton. Aubrey got his work cut out. He got his work cut out inside his own party. And if he stumbled, and I think he has stumbled in some cases, is that he got daggers at his back. But I'm saying, even, I know for me, the more you put a dagger in my back, the more I in you cock hole. We stop fighting. We stop fighting. We stopped fighting for 4 years. And we there where we are now. And it's not too late. We got to turn this shit around. the teachers, the union leadership, those shameless big men going to court now and saying that the teachers, the union was wrong to suspend them. Suspend? And saying that Coretta McDonald must be thrown out of the union. Coretta McDonald is a fighter. They say she make the PPP behave the way they behave. That woman get more balls than those little piece of shit that go into the court there. Light and what the other one name. Coretta McDonald's get 100 times more balls than them. She didn't burn with balls. But she acquired the balls that are needed. And that is why the PPP fear them. And those two black men are going up in that court and saying that that black woman is a problem. I am talking it black. I'm talking it black because I'm not afraid to say black. Because I know that no matter what I say, what I do, Indians not voting for me. I know that when the government change after the next elections, Indians gonna come to me. David, look, you have to talk out with what the coalition do. I know Indian not voting for me, not because they hate me. I do not believe Indian people are filled with hate. But Indian people have taken a realistic position. I rather live with the Indian devil than go to the black devil. I don't agree with them, but they have taken that position. Why the hell black people can't take the same position and say, I rather live with the black devil than to live under an Indian devil? Why black people can't do that? All kind of fault we find in with Aubrey Norton. All kind of fault. All kind of fault. That brother's biggest sin is that he black like me and poor like me. For people like Aubrey Norton and myself, the only reason they haven't kicked our ass down in the gutter is because we get little education. And they cannot deny us that. But they have absolutely no respect for people like us. So I'm not fooling myself. I'm not fooling myself. I know that if the PPP start to rain down terror on me, on Ogunse, on Clive Thomas, on the rest of us in the WPA, is black people who will have to defend us. And so anybody who tell me, David, you have with this race thing, Indian people will say, David, we're sorry, what am I do? But we can't do nothing. We will have to depend on black people to defend us. And there are Indian people who are supporting the coalition, and I always say to you all got to protect those people. Because they're seeing the living hell. And we got to protect them. I want to be clear here tonight because I detect some of the nonsense that is coming back into us. We sometimes chat too much for our thing. But look, am I happy with what Nigel Hughes and the AFC are doing in terms of stalling? I have every confidence that they're going to come with the coalition. I understand what they're doing. They've taken the position that given what they went through during the coalition, they got to ensure that they're not going through it again. I feel the same way. I ensuring that what we went through at the hands of Granger and Amnali and them, that we wouldn't go through it again. But we recognize that every time we come together, we give you all strength. And in that sense, I disagree with Nigel dragging his foot and so on. But again, Nigel got to deal with E-Party. Nigel got to deal with E-Party, and he got to deal with them middle class people who don't have respect. Some of them don't have respect for poor black people, middle class black people. And Nigel got to deal with them because that is E-class. He got to deal with the party. Some of who would rather go and team up with the PPP than to team up with the PNC because they're fighting Burnham still in the grave. So I understand Nigel's position. But I hear some of you are cussing me. No, don't cuss him. We need him. Some of y'all just cuss me. But I come from boxing line top, I can take cussing. Because I don't cuss back. We need all of us. I am clear about what the image of Aubrey Norton, Nigel Hughes, and David Hines standing together, what it does for black people psyche. I know that. And I'm not playing games with that. That is why the one place that they can't tell me and get support, that we mobilize our people to come on the line top on our day, Emancipation Day. And I invited those two brothers and I stood in the middle and held their hands. I have a sense of history and I have a sense of what our people want. Don't cuss Nigel. Vex with it. Vex with it. You all have every right to. You all have every right to. You all have every right to vex, but don't cuss him. We need him. We need him. Why you think Jack Yo cusses Nigel every week? He cuss me and the WPA. We are geriatric, we are old man, and we can't walk properly. And me and he a grown man, you know. And me know me walk more strong than he. Why you think he cuss Nigel and cuss me? Because he knows that the two of us with Aubrey Norton spells trouble for the PPP. You all black people gotta move smarter. You all gotta move smarter. You all gotta move smarter. They're trying to break the teachers' union. See those two black men sitting up in court there, talking down Coretta McDonald. They can put their foot in his slippers, much more his shoes. A set of spineless black men. A set of spineless black men. And the PPP thrives on black men like that. The PPP thrives on black men like that. They can't come to me. They can't come to my brothers and sisters in the WPA with that shit. We don't want nothing. We don't want nothing. And we know the game. And we intend to fight and to encourage you all to fight. I'm sorry. I hear all kinds of justification for what Sister Gita did in Parliament. She's been objective and so on. I hear all of that. My position is Gita is out of order. She's wrong. You do not, in the height of a battle where people are getting their ass busting, you go there and bigging up their oppressor. I'm sorry. Gita is somebody that I like personally. I've had a good relation. I don't know her very well, but the little that I've interacted with her, she's a wonderful individual. She's a wonderful human being. But she's wrong. I don't care what justification. You do not, in a war, praise the enemy. And I'm saying that the PPP has become our enemy. I don't believe in political enemies. I tell people, I fight the PNC fight me. And some stupid people say, the PNC, they jail you, or you can sit down with them. I can sit down with them because I'm comfortable in my skin. I'm comfortable in my skin. I will not sit down with the oppressors there. My position is clear. Ultimately, the PPP represents half of this nation. And ultimately, for us to get peace in Guyana, all of us got to sit down at the table. But we have to get rid of the PPP, put them in opposition. Let us chew them. It's only then they will come to a national government at the table. So long as they have power, they are not thinking about national nothing. They're thinking about control. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I cannot agree with what Gita's done. I like James Bond. He treats me as a big brother. Very good relationship. But I can't agree with what James has done. As I said, there can be 1,000 more James Bonds. It wouldn't break the black community, and it shouldn't. But optics matter. Optics matter. And I'm not in James' head. I'm not in James' position. People say, well, he would have get locked up and he joined them so that he wouldn't get locked up. Either is his business. I'm not into that. He got to figure that out. All I'm concerned about is that when you, an African, with name recognition, move in that way, you're weakening your own group. And I'll tell James that to his face. I still love him because he's a brother. He's a brother. But he's wrong. I know the PPP and them are angry with me when I called Gita a slave catcher. You do not. The government is trying to kill Takuma Ogunse. And you, instead of expressing solidarity with a brother who's on your team, you are condemning that brother? No. I love you, Gita, but you are not going to do that once I'm around. I will use my voice and use my head to push you back in your place. And that's what I did. That's what I did when I called her a slave catcher. Because had she gotten through, there are other Indian brothers and sisters in the PNC who would have followed her and joined with the PPP to slaughter my brother. And that shit ain't happening with me. I want you all to understand me politics. I want you all to understand my politics well. I want you all to understand the politics of the WPA. Some others are in solidarity with the black masses, but they wouldn't come out and take off the shot and bear the chest for you. They're in solidarity. Some of the black middle class, they're in solidarity. But they're not prepared to put their reputation on the line to defend all your black poor people. I am prepared to do that. And I don't give a damn. If you knock black people, you knock me. Especially poor black people. And you all got to get in the habit of rewarding people who stand with you all. That is the shit. If people are standing with you all, what you all got to do, strengthen them. So they can stand more. If people like Vincent Alexander and the Ipadaji people and David Hines and Takuma Ogunsi and the WPA people and some people in the PNC leadership, some, had it not been for us, all you would have been back physically on the plantation. People talking about who's big party and small party. I repeat, if I had 20,000 people who would vote for me and they can identify themselves, the streets of Georgetown would have been full. I'd rather take that chance. There may be 20,000 people who may vote for me. I don't know them. I know the couple hundred of y'all who have expressed your support and support for the WPA. And Jadio and the PPP always say, how many members you all get? I in a war. I'm not exposing my troops. I'm not exposing my troops. There are people, some of you all here in this audience, some poor people there in Guyana who I know are our supporters because they've expressed that to us. But we're in a war. And in a war, you don't expose your troops to be slaughtered. So they can cuss me and say, are we not get members and so on? We know what we get. But I'm saying, if I had 10,000, if I had 20,000, they would have been shaking in their boots all night now. If I had the money, the resources, because you can't do this work. You can't fight. You can't fight without your fighting tools. If I had the resources, the PPP would have had to meet me at the crossroads. The example I want to set to you all is fear is not an option. Black people have become cowards. Some objectively so, because when you look and you don't see your representatives manning up, you're saying to yourself, boy, if they're frightened, what about me? The joint opposition has to man up now. Man up like that sister. Coretta McDonald. She man up. And she woman up. She woman up. Because these days, the man them a manai. And the man them will say, I began to eat a bread, and they would push their gun and shoot my ass for a bread. The women will protect me more than the men. The black man, some of them, not the majority. Some of them have become manai. Look at Mark Light and the other one. Them the man, they get balls. They get something else, but it's not balls. Shameful, shameless. As my auntie would say, all of them must back the face. Shouldn't show the face in our community. Sisters and brothers, in struggle, you have to push the envelope. You don't pull back. Nelson Mandela said, there comes a time in the life of any nation where you're left with but two choices, submit or demand. The time came to South Africa in 1963 when he was going to jail. He says, I am not submitting anymore. I'm demanding. And the time has come to Guyana again and again, where we have to demand. It pains me to see big strapping black men cowering before the PPP. Cowering. Finding all kind of shitty excuse. You have to eat. Of course you have to eat. Of course you have to eat. But you're going to sell your ass in order to eat? As old people say, you give away your ass and you shit through your ribs. That is what some of our people are doing. And I want to protect the majority of you from doing that. When you sell your ass, you have to shit through your ribs. What that means, what the wisdom of that, is that you've ceased to be a human. Because human ain't supposed to shit through their ribs. You shit through your ass. And when you sell your ass for a piece of bread, you stop being a human being. That's the wisdom of that saying. Look what they have reduced us to. They like to say, oh, they're going to lock you up. They're going to this, they're going to lock me up. I don't stop going home to my country. I don't stop going there. Not like them don't stop me. When I go in at the airport, they got tell the bosses that I'm there And then the bosses give the immigration people the permission. Clear. Them little immigration officers dead with laugh. In fact, since they see me coming through, they'll start smiling. That's been there for the last 25 years. It stopped. Ramzatan stopped it. I didn't have to have clearance to enter my own country. And the minute they take office, they think, well, they can do that. I'm not crying. I got to come in my country because I'm a bandit. And they got to do what they got to do. But I hope when I got to do what I got to do, they don't cry. They don't cry. I'm not crying now. But since I opened my mouth, since the WPA said last week that we got to go up on the streets to get biometrics, they start to cry. Damn cowards hiding behind the guns of the state. Come out from behind the guns of the state and come down in the ring where we fight. And there can only be one winner. Because I'm not a coward. I wasn't born a coward. Those of us who gave our lives and our sacrifices and joined the WPA in the 70s, we couldn't be cowards. In those days when you joined the WPA, you had to be brave. But they're damn cowards. I challenge Irfan Ali and Jagdio, come out from behind the protection of the guns and come down in the ring, let me slug it out. If you come in with the brains, I'm going to bust your ass. You come with muscles, your ass going to get bust more. Are you going to tell them, David, I say so? And that is the spirit I want you all black people. That is the spirit I want you all to adopt. Not this shit where you hiding and crying. We were never cry babies. They shackled us on the slave plantation for 400 years and we never cried. Unless it look as though I just attacking people from other party, some of my supporters, some of WPA supporters, into the shit too. I can tell you that. I'm not saying it's not plenty, but some of them into the shit. If I follow some of them, I wouldn't use the word black. I wouldn't use the word African. So it's not just some of PNC people, some AFC people, and some of the black middle class, some of my own supporters, some of our own supporters. The sickness has to go. Look at that man. Look at that man. Borrowed $2 billion, $2 billion. For gas to energy project. You do feasibility study, Bharat? Yes, Exim Bank. Exim Bank do feasibility study. When them people write, mostly women, there are a couple of men in the group, they write Exim Bank. Exim Bank say we search high and low. And we didn't do a feasibility study, and the Guyana government didn't give we one. You are spending $2 billion that don't belong to you without a feasibility study. You're dealing with a gas pipeline. If that shit busts, you kill your own people. Financial criminality, environmental criminality, and some of the middle class treating those people as if they're normal rulers. They're not normal rulers. All those people intention is they already calculate all the 30 billion barrel oil and how much money, and all their intention is to use government to pack the money in there, and as you always say, friends, family, and favorite. And if they got to kill your mother and your granny to get it, they're prepared to do that. And if you're prepared to kill me, I taking you seriously. You're not putting a gun in front of me and I say, you don't intend to kill me. You intend to kill me. And I have to defend myself. I have to defend my people. I have to defend my people. It's not them little Indian boy and girls they use. It's my own sons and daughters they're using. Who killed Crummy Wing? Who killed Waddle? Look what they're doing to them little girls that work in a Chronicle. And not Natal, Kwame, writing them question and give them little girls to come to AFC press conference, to come to WPA press conference, to come to PNC press to make trouble. That's what they're doing, using our daughters, nice, beautiful little girls, using them to come and harass the daddy. At some point, we have to let those little girls and little boys know that they're fair game. If they send you with a gun to shoot me, I'm not saying you're not going to shoot me. I want to get the artists who send you for the gun. You get the gun in front of me and you accept the job of a mercenary. I'm sorry. If you aim the gun at me, I'm going to aim back at you. So when you come to my press conference, you come to the WPA press conference and you shoot your shit, you're going to get the ignorantness from me. The little girl, they only trying for make a living. Go find and make a living somewhere else and don't sell yourself to be a goddamn mercenary. At some point you have to say no. If my daughter allow a piece of shit like Kwame for send she, for take she eyes pass, she daddy and she grandfather and them, I disown her. If I have left myself undone for mind me adult child, rather than she going and prostitute herself, I will do it. And some of us have to take that stand. The parents of those little girls have to tell them, no, man, no, you can't do that. Tell them no. Tell them no. have some serious choices to make. We got some serious choices to make. I know they're listening me, and I know they're searching for all kind of little thing for say they go charge me. Charge. I've been getting charged since me been in short pants. My sisters and brothers, each of you has to become a soldier. Each of you has to become a soldier. Good evening, Moko. Good evening, Moko. Moko is a living example of how they move to destroy a community. Each of you has to become a soldier. You all are in war. You don't have to go out there and beat up people and kill up people. Soldiers are fighters. Soldiers are fighters. And when war is declared on you, you have to defend yourself. And there are a million ways to defend yourself. There are a million ways. But I'm saying to you all, that we got to stop some bad habits. Got to stop some bad habits. I don't agree with, as I said, I don't agree with some of Aubrey Norton's tactical moves. I don't agree with some of Nigel Hughes' tactical moves. I don't. But they're my brothers. They're my brothers. And I'm not dashing them away. And I'm not putting them to fight one another. I'm saying that Nigel and those we get wrongy, Raphael and Pato and them, they got to come on the ground and hear what you're saying. And if they love you all, they will act. They will take into consideration what you're all saying. I know what you're saying. Are you just saying that you all want when you all wake up in the morning, you all see the three men that putting themselves forward as your leader. You all want to see them holding hand. That's all that you all are asking. And if I intend to wait till June before I signal that our first line of action is a coalition, after I listen to your all cries, I would have cut back the June to January. When people's lives, and I want you all tell Nigel, when people's lives are on the line, you do not set artificial deadlines. I hear them, we're going to decide on coalition 31st of March. They will kill your brothers and sisters. And do you love them? Do you want them to be alive before July 31st? They will slaughter your African brethren before the 31st. That's my politics. I ain't playing softball with Aubrey, you know. Aubrey's my friend outside of politics. We have known each other 30-something years, and we've always had a cordial relationship. But when it comes to politics, if there's need to play hardball, I'll play hardball. But there's sometimes you have to make a choice between your personal desire or your party desire and the desire of Ayo. You all were crying. Let me be frank, yeah? At the end of the day, Nigel bread is well buttered. At the end of the day, Aubrey bread is well buttered. At the end of the day, David Hines' bread is well buttered. That's a fact. Let me be straight up with that. But how many of our brothers and sisters can say the same thing? And so we can't make decisions based on our butter. And as politicians, we sometimes do that shit. You all know, I love Nigeria. Nigeria has given yeoman service to this country, has given yeoman service to the struggle. I know that if there's one liar, if they hold me at 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I call he coming. Don't cussy. Don't cussy. I disagree with some of his tactics. I think some of his tactics miss the human mark. Some of his tactics may be correct politically. Because I'm telling you all, Granger and Amna and the leadership, Basil and all of them, the leadership of the 8, they didn't treat me nice. They didn't treat me nice. They didn't treat the AFC nice. They treated WP even worse. So I understand the apprehension of the AFC. But all I'm saying is that our hurt in the way we were treated cannot take precedence over the hurt that you all people, poor people, black people, brown people are going through. Our hurt cannot take precedence over you all hurt. Granger and them knocked me off from Ministry of Social Cohesion. They knocked me off from Chronicle. But I still had my teaching job to go back to and live. When they knock you off from one job, what you all going to? So my hurt at the way the PNC leadership of that time behave towards people like me cannot take precedence over the hurt that you all are going through. Me, Nigel, and Aubrey don't have to live on $100,000 a month. We don't. That's what the majority of you all gotta live on. We don't have to live on it. Our heart cannot guide our politics. If heart was to guide politics, we in the WPA would have been on the rampage morning, noon, and night. The heart. We answered Robert Corbyn's call. Robert Corbyn said, I am going to my arch enemies, the WPA, because the PNC cannot do this alone by ourselves, by ourselves. Corbyn, and he went not to friends, he went to enemies, because the WPA and the PNC were enemies in the 70s. And we answered that call. And we formed the APNU. We give the APNU a name. We spent hours putting it together. And people who were not in favor of the APNU, when the APNU came to power and they assumed the leadership of the government, they cut with foot and with throat. Yes, AFC, I know it because they cut. They may have cut you all foot, but they cut the WPA throat. So we know what it is. But do not use that to punish your own people. So many people call me David, oh God, you can't talk to Nigel, oh Jesus, talk to you, no man. People call me in tears, whether people in New York, in Guyana. Nigel can't not know that. Can't not know that. That his action, he doesn't bring 200,000 votes, but he brings stature. He brings confidence. When you in battle and you see that tall, strapping, bright black man turn up, you feel protected. Nigel can't not know that. Can't not know that. And that's where many get me difference. That's where I have a difference with the AFC. Tactical. It's nothing I understand what they're doing. But I'm saying you got to balance the thing. You got to take care of your party, but you got to take care of your people. Andrea, you're bright like a 40,000 bulb. WPA looked at the bigger picture. That is what I'm struggling for say. The bigger picture. The bigger picture. The bigger picture. I know my role. It may be wrong. I know a part of black people like bravery and they like when you stand up. Be also like when you're stately, as my sister Valderine said, handsome and bright and articulate. Be like that too. Be like that too. We are the only people who just mix 15-year-old rum with what a little picnic drink now with Red Bull. We are the only people because we understand. We understand what it is to operate at different levels at the same time. And Nigel must understand what he represents. And he must not be ashamed. And if you know, I hear him saying the polls and you know, if the polls show me that I only get one vote, I'm still in the race. I'm still in the battle. I'm not going to say, oh, the polls show me get one vote or me get one seat. So I got to think, no. Man shall not live by bread alone. Nigel must know what he represents. Black people don't like bullying. They don't like bullying. They may take some bullying, like some of us taking out from the PPP. But we never like bullying. We never like bullying. And so many people have called me and said, man, they're bullying Aubrey. they're bullying Aubrey. No, I don't think they're bullying Aubrey. But if your supporters saying that they feel that's what you're doing, you gotta listen to them. I do not believe Nigel bullying Aubrey. I don't think so. I don't think they're bullying Aubrey. Well, Aubrey don't take bully. So even if they were bullying, there's one human being don't take bullying. You know? But I don't think they're bullying him. But people say they think it's bullying. Perception becomes reality. I don't agree with Aubrey nuance thing with street protests. PPP don't understand nuance. They poke you in the eye, kick them in their balls. They poke you in your eye, kick them in their balls. Don't say if I kick them in their balls, before the doctor come, they're gone dead. Don't say if you kick them in their balls, I'm gonna go to jail. They poke you in your eyes. Kick them in their balls. That's my philosophy. That's my philosophy. I hear Aubrey about setting me up and they're waiting around the corner. They're waiting around the corner for we and they're setting trap for we. Well, if you're looking, if you stand up at the roadhead and you're looking for me walking, coming, me go crawl. And when we get to the roadhead, your ass would know me dead. Yes, I know they're waiting for we on the road. I know they're waiting for you, but I agree with Aubrey on that. But that don't mean I'm surrendering the road to you. I remember when we were on the street of the WPA in the 70s, we up on the border mall, and the police and the thugs, they come. And that man, the UC Guyana, say, everybody sit down. I will sit down. Them by with a gun, freeze. Because they come expecting us standing up. Guyana says, sit down. Freeze! You can't make those thugs in the PPP get more sense than you. I must have told the story here. I was in Maryland for the holidays. You all come in, I was at a function. She look wrong. And like she recognized me, she whisper to them people, they say, yes, is David Hines now? She inch, and then she start going. You know, a woman just go on. And she said, I want to tell you something, Dr. Hines. I want to tell you something. You and Nigel and Aubrey, 50 times more bright than them, chop them, the air finale and them. But just look as though they're more bright than you all. Me knee buckle. Me knee buckle because she was talking the truth. We have ceded too much ground to these people. Yes, we don't have the soldiers and the police and the guns. We don't have that. But we have something more powerful. We got 200,000 people who signed their name and said, we want you all to be our representatives. We got that. There's an army. There's an army. There's an army. You all know, you know the Christians are onward Christian soldiers. marching us to war with the cross of Jesus. They got soldiers and police just throw their gun over to protesters. They got police and army. When you face them down, just throw the gun over. But I ain't gonna throw gun over to you if you're not out there fighting. In the military, they say stand down. So many young policemen and women meet me all the time. I know. Some of them gonna say, I'm gonna shoot you because it's my job. But the majority of them wouldn't shoot me. The majority of them wouldn't shoot me. Sisters and brothers, we have to develop some gumption in these coming months. We have to develop some gumption. And I know that you all are not going to go there on your own. You all are depending on us to mobilize you all. But if you all show gumption, then the leaders will have to take notice. And then they themselves will have to show gumption. And I'm leaving you all with this. Reward those who stand up and fight with you all. Don't be stupid. I hear some of y'all say, oh God, she look nice, she just dress nice, she gonna make a good president. Oh God, he's a nice middle class boy, he gonna make a good president. Oh, he get plenty money, he just come and share out money to black people, he gonna make a good president. We gotta get our priorities right. We got to get our priorities right. We got to get our priorities right. We got to get our priorities right. We are all in this together. We are all in this together. And if we give it away now, it will take us 5 generations to get it back. By which time all will be dead and gone, and those who are left would be on the plantation. And you all decide whether there is where you all want to be. I know. I ain't live all these years to go meekly back onto the plantation. I ain't going there. I'm not going back there. And nothing like them pistol boys who are running this government will make me reduce myself to less than what the Maker put me on this earth to do. No pistol, little boys, who probably still up to this age still piss in their bed and coming out and trying to make. I beg pardon for using some cuss word tonight. But if you all know the history of cuss words, they're not cuss words. They're words of wisdom. I set a pistol, piss a bed. I don't mean it literally. I mean it politically. I mean it politically. I set a pistol, piss a bed boys. You know, when you piss in your bed, you have not grown up yet. And then I make. I watch them little girl in my village. Oh, Mr. President, welcome to our village. We want chicken. We want things for teachers. Oh, Jesus, they've reduced us to beggars. I didn't mind their turning up. But I wanted them to go there and say, even if they call him Mr. President, if he had sense, he gonna know when they call him Mr. President, a false name they call him. Even if they say Mr. President, not to tell him that you are presiding over crushing our people. And we come here to demand what belongs to us, not to beg. I almost cry watching it. But when I finished crying, I said, David Hines, take some responsibility. Because if we had toughened those people like Guyana and Walter Rodney and Rupert Rupnarayan and I and them, they toughen me. If I had toughened those girls, they wouldn't have got there and make themselves look small. I take responsibility. At some point we said, well, let me go with the tide, it's a new generation. And we didn't toughen them enough. But it's never too late. It's never too late. And we are doing it. We are doing it. I'll be back tomorrow night. Because this tone that I set here tonight is my tone from the era on. I make excuse for 4 years. I try to defend nonsense for 4 years. Not doing it anymore. Back to back, belly to belly. I don't give one damn. I out at the plantation and I ain't going back. Good night. Salute. Soldiers, put on your battle gear.